Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Blyvale podcast, Global Connections with ESIM and SIM Cards. Today, we'll guide you through the unforgettable journey, essential tips for traveling respectfully and richly. Stay tuned to discover how to stay connected and worry-free while traveling.
Welcome back to the deep dive. Today, we're jumping straight into something that can really make or break your travels. We've got this great source, 15 things to completely avoid when traveling, from the Blyvale blog. And our goal here is, well, to give you a shortcut to a much smoother, richer experience. It's about avoiding those little slip-ups, the ones that can cause hassle or, maybe worse, unintentional disrespect.
Exactly. It's funny, we put so much energy into booking flights and hotels, right? But this deep dive, it really highlights that the real magic, the truly unforgettable trip, often comes down to mindset. It's about being aware, being respectful. We're going to unpack some common pitfalls, things like communication, cultural stuff, and really look at why getting these right transforms a good trip into, well, something amazing.
Okay, let's dive in then. First big theme. Let's call it cultural intelligence. And the first point feels fundamental. Don't assume everyone speaks English or your language. Seems obvious maybe, but what happens when you do make that assumption? What's the real impact?
Oh, it's huge. And yeah, it goes way beyond just being polite. Look, English is widespread, no doubt, but relying only on it, that can build a real wall. Imagine, I don't know, needing help quickly, maybe a medical thing, or dealing with officials. Just a few basic words, hello, thank you, please, excuse me, in the local language. I mean, that can make a massive difference. It's not just nice, it's practical. It can genuinely help you navigate tricky situations, avoid misunderstandings, maybe even avoid getting ripped off because you understand a bit more. Plus, making that little bit of effort. Locals really respond to that. It opens doors.
Right, that makes total sense, and it flows straight into the next 2 points, doesn't it? Not respecting cultural customs and dressing inappropriately. These seem linked. I think most of us try to be respectful, but where do people often miss the mark without realizing it?
Yeah, they're definitely intertwined. And you're right, people usually mean well. But sometimes the offense is subtle, something you wouldn't even think about back home. So beyond the obvious, like covering shoulders in a temple, you need to dig a bit deeper. Like, did you know in some cultures, using your left hand for eating or giving something to someone is a big no-no, it's considered unclean? Or think about Japan, taking off shoes indoors isn't just about dirt. It's a deep sign of respect for their space. Little things like that.
Okay. So packing modest clothes, especially for places with strong religious traditions, it's not just about blending in then. It's more like a signal, yeah? Showing you actually care about their way of life.
Precisely. It communicates understanding, respect, and honestly, that often leads to much warmer interactions. You feel less like an outsider. It's about showing you've done your homework, basically.
Okay, moving on. This next one is key for anyone wanting that, authentic experience. Don't stay only in the hotel or only in tourist sites. We all say we want the real experience, but that hotel pool can be tempting, right? What are we actually missing out on when we stick to the bubble?
Oh, you're missing the heartbeat of the place, seriously. When you only see the tourist zones or the inside of your hotel, you're getting a curated version, maybe even a sanitized one. The real character, the pulse of a city or town, that's out there. It's in the local markets early in the morning, wandering through neighborhoods where people actually live, maybe even stumbling upon a local festival or event. That's where you get the real smells, sounds, the everyday life. That's the stuff you remember. Way more than just another monument photo.
Yeah, definitely. And that immersion, it carries over to food, too. Which brings us to, don't eat in a hurry and avoid asking for unnecessary food changes. This might surprise some people. Why is how you eat so important elsewhere?
Well, think about places like Italy or Spain or, much of Latin America. Meals aren't just about getting calories in. They're social events. They're about relaxing, connecting, enjoying the company and the food. So rushing through it or constantly asking to change dishes, can I have this without the sauce? Can you swap the potatoes for rice? It can come across as a bit insensitive. Or maybe just stressful for the kitchen staff who are proud of their local dishes. The advice is really slow down, savor it, watch how the locals do it. Maybe they linger over coffee for ages. Try the food as it's meant to be served. It's part of the adventure.
Right, embrace the local way. Okay, shifting gears slightly to practical preparedness. This one gets people all the time. Don't expect standard opening hours. Oh man, I've definitely been caught out by this. Showing up somewhere at 2 p.m. and finding it shut tight for hours.
Happens to the best of us. What's normal for shops or attractions back home can be totally different elsewhere. Think siestas in Spain, long lunch breaks in France, maybe different closing days midweek. It just reflects a different rhythm of life. So a quick check beforehand, Google Maps is pretty good for this now, or local websites saves a lot of frustration. And just being flexible, having a plan B if that museum is closed unexpectedly, it's about adapting to their schedule, not the other way around.
Good point. Next up, behavior at significant places. Don't disrespect monuments. We know not to spray paint things, obviously, but what does proper reverence actually look like? How do we show genuine respect?
Yeah, it's more than just not being destructive. These places, monuments, temples, historical sites, they're often the heart and soul of a culture or its history. So, sure, no loud noise, no eating or smoking, that's basic. But deeper respect comes from understanding the context. Is it a place of worship? Then quiet, and maybe certain clothing are key. Is it a war memorial? Then a somber, reflective attitude is appropriate. It's about recognizing the weight of the place, the stories it holds, not just treating it like another photo backdrop. Check the rules, definitely, but also just feel the vibe,
Feel the vibe. I like that. Okay, let's talk money. Always a potential stress point. Don't pay solely with your home currency. It's easy to assume dollars or euros work everywhere, right? What's the reality and what are the financial pitfalls here?
That assumption can cost you, literally. Don't count on your home currency being accepted everywhere, especially in smaller shops or local markets. And even if it is, you'll likely get a terrible exchange rate. Always best to have some local currency. Get it before you go or right when you land. And watch out for that thing called DCC, dynamic currency conversion. That's when they offer to charge your card in your home currency.
Oh yeah, I've seen that prompt on card machines.
Right. It sounds helpful, but trust me, the exchange rate they use is almost always worse than letting your own bank handle the conversion in the local currency. So always choose to pay in the local currency if you're using a card. And know your bank's foreign transaction fees. A little prep saves money.
Good heads up. Okay, another source of stress luggage. I confess I've been that person wrestling a giant suitcase up tiny stairs. So this advice is key. Don't bring too much luggage and don't bring too many unnecessary items.
I think we've all been there at some point. Overpacking is just, it's a hassle. Think extra airline fees, struggling on trains or buses, just feeling weighed down. The advice is simple. Pack light. Stick to essentials. Check the weather. Pack clothes you can layer, maybe. Seriously, do you really need 5 pairs of shoes? Probably not. And remember, you can usually buy things like toiletries or even an extra t-shirt if you really need it there. It's liberating to travel light. More freedom, less stress.
Definitely something I need to work on. Okay, finally, let's talk about probably the most crucial mindset shift. Don't be critical of local food and culture. Sounds simple, but in the moment, comparing things to home can be automatic, can't it?
It really can be. And that's the core of it, isn't it? Travel is about things being different. What's normal for you isn't universal. So whether it's food that seems unusual or social interactions that feel different or just the pace of life, try to approach it with curiosity, not judgment, constantly comparing, back home we do it this way. It just closes you off. Embracing the differences, even the ones that challenge you a bit. That's where the real growth happens, I think, and you enjoy it more.
That's a great point. And related to mindset, but more about practical safety. Don't forget travel and health insurance. This one feels non-negotiable.
Absolutely fundamental. Non-negotiable is the right word. We all think, it won't happen to me. But, a twisted ankle, a sudden illness, lost luggage, a canceled flight, these things happen. And without insurance, a relatively minor mishap can turn into a financial nightmare, costing thousands. Seriously, hospital bills abroad can be astronomical. It's not just an extra expense, it's peace of mind. It protects you when things go wrong, which they sometimes do. Just get it.
Solid advice. And one last practical tip on protecting yourself. Don't bring all documents with you when you're out and about.
Yes. This is about minimizing risk. Your passport, maybe your main credit cards, important visas, leave the originals locked in the hotel safe. Just carry photocopies or maybe digital scans on your phone for your daily wanderings. If you lose a copy, it's an inconvenience. If you lose your actual passport, that's a major headache. Check if you need the original driver's license for car rental. Sometimes a copy or an international driving permit works. But for daily stuff, keep the important originals secure. Less risk.
Okay, so wrapping this all up, travel is amazing, right? A chance to see new things, experience different cultures. But as we've kind of unpacked here, avoiding these common mistakes isn't just about dodging problems. It's actually about making the whole experience richer, deeper. It lets you connect more genuinely and, just enjoy the adventure more fully.
Exactly. At the end of the day, it boils down to being respectful, being curious, and being flexible. That's the core message. If you approach your travels with that mindset, you're not just ticking places off a list, you're really engaging with them. And that's how you create those memories that stick with you, the ones that really feel unforgettable, transformative even.
Yeah. Maybe thinking about these things helps you shift from just traveling to truly connecting. Food for thought, perhaps. What parts of this will you maybe reconsider for your own next trip? Something to mull over as you dream about that next adventure.
We've reached the end of our podcast episode on The Unforgettable Journey, Essential Tips for Traveling Respectfully and Richly. I hope you found it helpful. Don't forget to subscribe to the podcast and visit blivale.com for more tips and solutions. Thanks for listening, and see you next time.